Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Todoroki X Reader by underscore Nessa the Butterfly underscore on Wattpad. So let's get into it. You and Shoto were at the cafeteria, eating lunch. You two were dating. He loved him as he loved you. A healthy relationship. However, Shoto's father found out and didn't approve of it. Shoto noticed that you were feeling down. Are you still worried about my shitty dad? Yeah. Last time I met him was in your room. He began to change the subject. Anyways, the sports festival is coming up, isn't it? He nodded as he ate his cold soba. Be careful not to get hurt. Then, Tenya, Ochaka, and Izuka joined the table. The engine correct male apologized. We're sorry that we were late. The line was long. Yep, sorry about that. The bubbly girl smiled. The five of them talked about how they were going to prepare for their training for the next week until the sports festival. Then, they headed back to the classroom for the rest of their lessons. You walked back to the dorms with Shoto, holding each other's hands. I wish this would last forever. Me too. Shoto turned around and hugged you. I hope that we won't get pegged to fight each other. I don't want to hurt you. You could feel the pain he was feeling when he was speaking. He patted Shoto on the back with a grin and joked. Don't think I'll hold back if I do, though. He pecked him on the cheek, both of you heading inside the dorm. A week later, the sports festival had started. You were determined and wanted to do your best to achieve the highest scores. He knew you weren't that strong in combat, and when it came to defense, your gum animals, which you create from blowing gum, were hard to break. Your quirk was bubblegum. You created gum-shaped objects from blowing bubblegum, and the gum could also harden when you released them. Disgusting, right? But it explodes when you click your fingers. Then the battle tournament began. Everyone gathered to see the results and who was fighting who. The first person that you had to fight was Todoroki Shoto. You paused before turning your gaze to your boyfriend. His face was something you have never seen before. He was shocked. Class 1 students knew that you were the world to Shoto. He could never hurt you. I'm going to find him, Shoto muttered, and ran off. He knew he couldn't take it. When it came to him, you had to stay back from the quarrels. Shoto rushed inside to find his dad, and there he was, standing by the waiting room. He gritted his teeth and stomped towards his abusive dad. Were you the one messing with the tournament board? I want you to surpass All Might. If that puny gets in your way of becoming strong, you have to eliminate them. And never spoke with an expressionless face. So yes, I did, and the principal agreed. Shoto gave a menacing glare to Endeavor, and ran back to the crowd of students. He found Shoto and ran to him. Shoto, let's go get ready. Yeah. Even though he never showed too much of his emotions, you saw how upset and angry he was. However, he wanted to fight him as an equal, not as your lover. He needed to convince him to fight. The moment that Chibiya were called out, you took a deep breath and headed to the entrance. The moment you arrived, you saw Shoto leaning by the wall. You heard muffles of cheering voices from the light, making you feel nervous. You stood up beside the Shoto. The sounds were suspenseful, so you decided to talk right before the match began. He looked right in his mismatched eyes. Hey, Shoto. I just want to say that you don't need to hold back. What? He said he lifted his head up, and his eyes widened more. Anger was clear in his voice. You know that my old man made us fight, so why? Then, the announcement interrupted your conversation. All right, everyone. First coming out is our half-cold, half-hot student in Class 1A, Todoroki Shoto. He strolled towards the light, quiet and grumpy. You sighed and waited your turn. You suddenly heard your name get called out by President Mike. And his opponent is our bubblegum student from Class 1A, LNYN. He stumbled out and waved to the crowd. He stood into the match area, right in front of Shoto. President Mike shouted, "Ready?" You gulped and got ready. Shoto shifted his position, and as soon as he heard President Mike calling out to you to start, he began to blow bubblegum into a pear shape and blew it towards Shoto at high speed. He managed to dodge it with his desk work, and he couldn't help but feel annoyed and frustrated. The more he threw at Shoto, he just continued to dodge them without fighting. "Shoto, what are you doing?" He shouted out of frustration. "Why are you hiding like a coward?" Attempting to get off Shoto, he showed up with the most worried face you had seen. I just don't want to hurt you." He gave more courage to yourself. "I don't care that your father made me fight you, just because I'm a nuisance to him. I'm your opponent right now. So forget about these rats, and just fight for yourself. Focus on me. I'm your opponent, Shoto." Her colleagues will Shoto up. "He doesn't need to fight because I never forced him to." "Thank you, Mayan." And you finally had a real battle with Shoto. It was intense, but nevertheless, you ended up losing due to how powerful Shoto's ice and flame powers were. You only had small cuts and bruises, and your recovery girl kissed your injuries away. You sat by your classmates and watched the rest fight. In the end, Katsuki was first, Shoto was second. Following afterward, Tokoyami was third. You saw Shoto get his medal, and then his gaze turned towards you. You smiled as you gave him a thumbs up, and he nodded with a slight smile back at you. It was then the evening, and you wanted to congratulate him. You traveled to his dorm and knocked on the door. "Door's unlocked. Come in," is all you heard. You opened the door. Shoto sat on his bed, reading a book. He turned to see you at the door. You gave him a smile and sat next to him. "So, congrats on being second." You hugged Shoto with all your might. He chuckled as he patted your head. "Thanks, although I'm not happy with that." You laughed together and snuggled like two peas in a pod. You were glad that you fought with Shoto, because now you could face problems, like if someone took your identity to get information on him and such. You kissed his forehead, smiling. "I love you, Shoto." He smiled and kissed your cheek. "I love you too, Ayan."